lectures and commenting on their integrity, which as a kid I found incredibly boring. So I always thought, like, wow, I will never be an engineer. And you should never say never, because when I was in high school in grade 12, I started to recognize that I was pretty interested in like physics and chemistry and math. And so I thought that engineering would be a good thing to pursue. So I went into the first year general engineering program at U of T. And then I later decided to do industrial engineering, which is where I learned about data science and data engineering. So as Trisha mentioned, I just graduated and I'm actually starting full-time at a marketing company called P&G in their data and analytics department. So it's very different than I think what someone might call, I guess, like a traditional engineering path. But yeah, that is my story.
Yeah, and that was great to know that next week you are joining. So congratulations for that.
Yeah, I'm starting work next week, so I'm super excited.
So giving a background to my engineering story, I have done my engineering in India. I'm an electrical engineer. And after completing my engineering, I chose for a profession of procurement and supply chain management. I have considerable experience in this particular field. Now I joined back my master's in University of Waterloo to upgrade. What I have felt in my journey as a student, as a professional, that nowadays it is very, very important to stay upgraded. And in some sense, coming back to school really helped me a lot in that. Right from my childhood days, I was totally motivated to get into the engineering field because my father was an engineer and he always told us that there's no difference between a girl and a boy. You should always aim for a STEM field because that is what's very interesting. That is where the most innovation is happening in a rapid speed. So I chose engineering by default. If I talk about my profession in supply chain management, I can say the profession and the studies of engineering has helped me to be a very disciplined person and think everything very rationally. That is what an engineering mind is all about. I can see a lot of people are still joining in, and so I would like to welcome you all. We just got started a couple of minutes back, and myself, Trisha Mahesh, I'm doing Masters in University of Waterloo, and my great friend Ariba Aziz is a new graduate this year. She is helping us in the EIR program. Thanks all for joining. So, what is Engineers of Tomorrow? Engineers of Tomorrow is a nationally incorporated not for profit organization. We partner with engineering companies, professional organizations, educators to transform the engineering profession. So, like all of you are, hi, hi Becky. Sorry, I had to mute everyone for the time being. So we will open up the session at the end of it and we can have a nice, good chat. So I was talking about our partnership with the engineering companies, professional associations, educators, and to transform the engineering profession. More diversity, ability to learn from our failure, innovate, and solve the most important problems of the 21st century. Yes, that's what EOT is all about. We believe in the power of engineering outreach to shape the future. That is why EIR program is there. And we try to inspire and instill the capacity in others, particularly in kids, to do the same. By shaping the public's perception of engineering, we change its future. That's it, Engineers of Tomorrow. I request everyone to just get your selves muted or yourself muted. So what is the EIR program? The EIR program is the Engineering Outreach Program of Engineers of Tomorrow. It was initially founded by the Professional Engineering Organization, the PEO. The program pairs engineers with schools to give presentations do activities and inspire students in the areas of science, technology, engineering, maths, that is STEM field. It can be anything related to STEM. It can be mathematics, because we had lot of queries from the EIRs and the teachers what specific programs we are actually looking for. So I will say it has to be anything which the kids find very interesting. Like Ariba, you were talking like you are going to pick up a career in data analytics. So as per you, how interesting will be for kids to take up a career in data analytics? Ariba.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing is there's lots of new areas of engineering, and
Mhm.
engineering is just so much more than what it was traditionally seen as, like building things. And so data analytics is something that's fairly new, but it's definitely a very like hot area and growing. And so I think for kids who probably haven't heard too much about it since it's so new, it would be super exciting for them to learn what kind of opportunities exist. And again, data sounds like such a boring thing, like you're just looking at numbers, but
Yeah.
actually so fascinating to see how you can find patterns, how you can find trends, how you can use that to predict somebody's behavior, how they're going to shop. And so I think it'll be really great exposure for the students.
True. And Ariba, I will say you we have some very, very experienced EIRs and a very fresh EIRs. So we have the right mix of experience and enthusiasm in this particular group. So I think we are going to cater a very wonderful year and a wonderful program of EIR this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really exciting.
It's going to be very exciting, yes. So the objectives of the EIR program. So if I put down in words, the objectives are bridging a role model engineer into the classroom, which you EIRs are actually, engaging students with fun hands-on activities. We want something which will really impress them, which they say, oh, teacher, when my EIR is going to come visit next time, something like that. Using inclusive messaging to engage all students. So if I see this picture, there is something which strikes me. Ariba, do you see something common in all the pictures? What are your inputs?
Yeah, so I see that they're all wearing construction hats, and
Yeah,
they're mostly seem to be guys.
true that. And you can see most of the people are holding some blueprints, right? So
Yeah.
let me tell you, when we Google the word engineer, this is what pops up in Google first. So things have really changed. Right now, engineering is not only about building and construction. Engineering is so much more. I can tell you, in the University of Waterloo, every year we get some new programs in engineering added. As you can guess, for this year and the last year, it has been AI and software and data analytics related program. And the way the things are booming so fast, I really can't predict where the things will be after 5 years. What do you say?
Yeah, I think things are really going to be changing up for sure.
Very fast. And the other point which we were discussing, that in this picture we see only two ladies. So this has been a topic we had discussed with our previous in our previous webinar. We discussed with the teachers also, and it will be great to discuss with our EIRs, so that there is still a imbalance in the representation of women and men in engineering profession, and somewhere girls uh, face little bit of a hurdle when they show or in their progress in the STEM in their school. So we will come to that topic and we can have a great discussion, I guess. What would it mean to have an EIR in every classroom? So engineering and engineer recognized by every Ontario student, strong positive role models for engineering present, STEM careers are recognized as rewarding and cool, higher technological literacy in all Ontario students, which is something so important, not only in Ontario, but I will say world across. Better gender parity in incoming engineering classes, K-12 teachers supported and confident in STEM, grassroots relationship building in educational systems, leadership building opportunities for P engineers. Let us come to the EIR and the teacher relationship. And in case somebody is still joining us, I would like to introduce myself. I am Trisha Mahesh. I am joining EOT for the summer and I'm doing my master's in University of Waterloo. And I have my co-host Ariba Aziz with us. She is going to join PNG next week. She is an engineering grad and she has volunteered to help us in some parts of the program. So it's wonderful to have her with us. Thanks for joining us, EIRs. Yes, let me come back to the EIR teacher relationship. So, how do you maintain a good relationship, a strong relationship? These are few points which we thought we would like to highlight. You should have a frequent communication. That's anybody's guess. Like communication is the bridge between anything, two people, their minds, their hearts, everything. It's the bridge. So you should have frequent communication. I do understand we face problem in this and that becomes a hurdle. So towards the end of the presentation, we will have some slides for you where we will address the issues which you might face and how to solve it. Okay, now coming to the second thing, scheduling times and dates. We do understand you all have your tight schedules and all plan things, personal as well as professional, and you have volunteered for this. You're going out of your way and doing this extra bit for the society. So just to make it more smooth, it will be great if you can schedule and plan the things with the teacher, because the teachers, as we see, most teachers are very willing. They want this additional help from you. So it is only about reaching out to the teachers and planning the things. Deciding order of programming throughout the year. This is very important to have a blueprint of the thing you are going to do for the year. Editing details of the programming. Teacher legally obligated to always be supervising, and an equal relationship. Like we say, the teacher knows his or her students best. So you will be the knowledge bank, we understand that. But it will be great if you can take the teacher's input on your progress and how the students are receiving the program. Okay, I was talking about the communication issues. So problem scenario one, you can't contact the teacher throughout the year. You don't know what's going on. You're frustrated that you aren't making the impact you expected because you can't even get into the classroom. We do hear this issue uh, at the beginning of the program, halfway through at the end. We do face this issue. So how you're going to solve it? So, like I told you, communication is a mode of success in every field nowadays. Is so important. So the first thing is like anybody's guess. Try different medium. Some people are comfortable in email. Some people are comfortable in phone conversation, and it will be wonderful. You can just make an in-person meeting. Like we have tried our best to make the matchings so that it's not very distant from your place, the place of the school. Some cases we didn't have choice because we didn't have nearby schools, but to our best possible capacity we have tried to do that. So I don't think the schools will be very far from your locations, so it will be wonderful if you can do in-person thing, because when you know a person, in person is a lifelong relation actually. Try contacting the principal. Like I will not say it's sort of escalation, but sometimes it does happen for some reason the teacher is not available. So we do have the principal's emails and contacts in 99% of the cases. So you can come back to us. You can ask for the principal's contact if you don't have the email in the CC. Normally those emails are CC'd. If you don't see that, please come back to us. We can provide you the principal's contacts. Contact your EIR support team, which is myself and Rebecca. And don't let a bad experience turn you away from the entire program. Believe me, the experience is wonderful. From last year's EIRs, we have some great feedback. They are so happy that they are able to cater to the society. They are able to bring in some value despite of a full-time work or something. So this is something you are going to cherish forever. So in case you have a bad start, please don't feel discouraged. We are there to help you. Please communicate back. Please come back to us. We will try to find a solution together. Content needed. Problem scenario 2. Your teacher expects you to have all the content prepared and found on your own. They were told that they didn't have to help you at all, that you would find lessons, plans, and activities on your own. Where do you look? This is our suggested solution. So we have a wonderful website, EIR.ca. So we have plenty of resources there. Try to have a look, and I'm sure you will get some resource to make. If in case you're a first time EIR, you might be lost. So this is a good starting point for you. In case you're an experienced EIR, I know you will be having plenty of resources, and you might be able to share something with the other fellow EIRs. So we have a LinkedIn group which has nearly 250 EIR members. That's third point I'm talking about. And in case some of you have not joined, please search it in LinkedIn and send a request. And once you're approved, you will be able to network with your fellow EIRs. And this will be a great platform to share ideas for your program. Like something say robotics. So we do have some robotics expert EIRs here, and this is something which will be of great interest to the students, I can say. So you want to do something on that, please connect with your fellow EIRs and take their inputs. I am sure this is a group where everybody wants to help each other. So that's the starting point. And everybody knows Google is our friend for everything. So wherever there's a problem, we can Google and find out. Just I thought I'll put that here to highlight that. And we are here in case you are totally like you are on a dead end, you don't have any stuff, and your teacher is specific on that particular topic. Please get back to us. We'll try to work with you. Who's that? Zainab. What's the query? Hey Zainab, we have not put the link here, but you can just search in LinkedIn group and yeah. So Bridget has already put that. Great, thanks Bridget. So please join the group. Thanks. Disagreement alert. I mean, uh, I have not seen any area of work or life where disagreement doesn't arise. Yes, people do feel little rattled, but you all are very experienced. So I think I could have done without this slide, but let's just talk about little bit about this. So you are running a session on electricity and you want to present a PowerPoint before getting into the activity. Your teacher insists that the children won't pay attention and suggest only doing the activity with a brief 2-minute intro. I mean, you are not in agreement. You don't think this is effective. What do you do? So, here is a suggested solution. Have faith in the teacher. Like we say, the teacher knows her or his students best. So, we need to hit a middle path here. Remember your time limits. You may have only 50 times in front of students and you have to maximize the output here. So try to come up with a compromise. We don't want to lose a good EIR like you. We don't want to lose an interested teacher who might be your match. We want both of you to be in the program. So we have requested the teachers before this. We are requesting you now that always try to find a compromise solution and keep the program going. That is going to be the success of the program. Okay. Now coming to the EIR student relationship. So you are basically a mentor and the first impression of an engineer. Some of you will be going to secondary schools, and these kids, they are still deciding on the career. They still have very vague idea of what they will be growing doing when they grow up. So you as an engineer has a wonderful chance to make a first impression and inspire them to take up engineering. So that is how they will feel. Ariba,
Mm-hmm.
from your student days, would you like to share something which inspired you to take up engineering? Did you meet any mentors?
Yeah, for sure. I think I was again lucky because both my parents were in it. But that was civil engineering, so that was a little bit different. But in high school, I got to participate in some outreach programs hosted by U of T. And those were a big key deciding factor in picking engineering and picking U of T because it just gives you an exposure and an understanding of what exactly it really means to be an engineer because again I think a lot of people have preconceived notions. Like it was nice for me to see, for example, female students who were there and enjoying their program, and it was nice to learn about just all the different disciplines, the type of courses they take, the kind of problem solving that's needed in engineering, and the different routes you can take. So for sure I think it was really helpful in making my decision.
Wow, that's great. That's great. It's good to hear directly from you. And we all know this, like mentors can really make a person. You try to walk a road alone. It's like 10 hours journey, and you have a mentor beside you. I can tell you it becomes a 2 hours journey. So you all know this. You all are experienced people. So it's a wonderful relation you can build with your students. Fuzzy student problem scenario. So you are in the middle of explaining a water cycle, rain cycle, when Jacob, that is just for the namesake we have put it, Jacob starts screaming and speaking over you. He stands up and starts making silly faces, distracting everyone in the room. And believe me, it's not an unusual scenario. Yeah. So kids, that's the way kids are. So what do you do in this type of scenario? Because you practically go once, maybe in the once in a month to the school, and you want to optimize your time here. So this is our suggested solution. Look to the teacher for how to discipline, because they are going there all working days, they are available in the school, so they have been through all this and they know how to discipline. uh, they likely already have a standard way of dealing with these things. Continue after the fact as if nothing happened. Get the focus in the room back on you and your content. Believe me, this too works. It sounds crazy, but this too works. Some of you who are already done this will know what I mean. Yes. Girls versus boys problem scenario 5. Ariba, we have been talking about this, that somewhere down the line, girls do feel little bit inhibited in their STEM career. And anything particular you are able to recall from your school or college days which you'd like to share?
Yeah, for sure. I think like in general, the tide is starting to shift, especially in like some areas of engineering. Like I noticed in like chemical, industrial, you're starting to see more of like a 50-50 split, but there's still lots of areas of engineering, like electrical and computer, where it's still like heavily skewed towards guys. And a lot of those courses definitely like as a woman, you feel a little bit sometimes intimidated to kind of be in a space where not everyone looks like you. And so I definitely did notice that in university. And I was actually fortunate enough that I got to also lead an Engineers of Tomorrow workshop. So I got to go into a school and work with the students when I was doing one of my internships. And even there, I noticed there was little groups that had formed for one of the activities, and one of the groups consisted of 3 boys and 1 girl. And even in that conversation you could notice that the boys just were not taking her opinion into account, and they were just sort of just kind of maybe not intentionally, but excluding her from the conversation. So then that presents an opportunity for you guys, if you guys are put in that scenario, to kind of join the group and prompt her to sort of share her opinion and have her voice heard. And so that's an opportunity that you guys will get, and something that you'll notice in your sessions.
Yeah, true. So true. Like, this is actually so true that the boy stuff and the girl stuff, what we have put in the slide, it is actually there. This scenario is a real scenario. So you people might come across this type of scenario. So the suggested solution is, uh, speak to the kids table specifically, reiterate the fact that anyone can be an engineer, and that a diversity of skills are important. Here, particularly this year, we do have lot of women EIRs, and you people are such a great role model for the young girls over there, because when they see you empowered, this type of scenario doesn't actually arise. So, kudos to all of you who have thought to volunteer to this process. You are the building blocks of EIR. Reiterate to the entire class the messaging that engineering is for everyone while not calling out specific students. We do need to remember that kids have a very, very soft heart, and anything you say, anything which you think is not rude but might turn out rude or harsh to them. So you need to keep it in mind. So we have to discipline, but we have to keep in mind that we are dealing with kids here. So free discussion time. Give me a minute to unmute you all. We can have, you can chat and send across your queries to me, or you can even talk to us. Okay. Hey, I've unmuted you all. So this is your free discussion time, but it will be great if you can just speak one by one your queries so that it doesn't turn into a chaotic situation. Who's first?
Right. But it's boxy. There's a difference in the two.
I can hear some of you trying to speak, but I think the audio is not coming across. If you can chat and send across. Okay, Aman here. Aman wants to know how often I should visit the school. So, Aman, ideally speaking, we expect you to be in the school once a month, 10 to 12 times a year, but it's totally based on the convenience between you and your teacher.
Hi, Trisha. It's Becky here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Becky, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm having trouble if other people are trying to speak. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm not sure if everyone else is here. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to just take a second and say hi, everyone. Say thanks for joining us today. I see there were some questions and comments in the chat box as well. We can definitely follow up with that information. Marla, you were asking about up for the challenge. We are, that's a very unique situation. It's a pilot we're trying out this year, so we can maybe take that offline and fill you in on what kind of where the status that we're at in terms of that program. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, everyone. And This really was just designed to be an intro about questions you might have. We do have the rest of the webinars that are planned for the summer, so I would encourage you to join those if possible, where we'll just go into a bit more detail about some of the things that Trisha and Ariba have touched on this morning, and then also strongly encourage you to join the orientation session in the fall, again, where we'll just have the opportunity to go into a bit more detail about expectations and logistics and methods and tools and tips and tricks and all that kind of great stuff.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for joining in. I have Aman here. Aman wants to know, should we cover various engineering fields? Yes, Aman. And I would say you get in touch with your teacher and discuss and find out which particular things will be of interest to the particular teacher and make your program accordingly. But you can cover any type of engineering things. Any other queries? I would ask you to post your message. Some of you are having little problem in the audio, I can see. Yes, Diana, actually the webinar material, we will be recording all the webinars and we will be sending you the material through email in first week of August. Yes, Diana, we'll be sharing the recordings. Some of you are self-muted as well, I can see. So if you want to have a query which you would like to speak in person, I have unmuted you all. You can just unmute yourself. Okay. So I will continue to take your questions, but you do not forget the upcoming events. We have the diverse and inclusive messaging webinar, which is on 24th of July, and we have sharing your engineering story for EIRs on 31st of July, and the EIR program orientation, which Rebecca will be coordinating, that is on 21st of September. So we expect you to join all the programs like Rebecca already mentioned. We will have a lot of stuff for you, a lot of resources for you. And like we will be going deeper in each of the topic which has been touched today. If you have any questions, you can always access to us via our social media platforms. We are there in Facebook, we are there in Twitter, we are there in LinkedIn, and we are always accessible via email and phone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is Marla Stone. I'm a teacher.
Oh, okay, Marla.
Hi.
Hi.
I just have a question because in terms of the length of the program, our school is semestered.
Okay.
If you wanted to start with one class and then like in January you continue with another, or if it's better to do like a consistent group of students like the eco team or the science club where it's the same throughout the year. That's my question. Like, what's easier for you guys?
See, basically.
Hi, Marla. It's Becky. I would suggest that, honestly, it could go either way. I happen to know the EIR that is matched up with your school, and I think he's even been to your school before to do some different engagements. So,
apparently he was there last year, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it could depend on his availability or what he's more comfortable with as well. I mean, I don't want to say for sure, but maybe he could do both. Like maybe he could support a club, so he has some consistency with the students throughout the entire year, and then also help out a particular class for a semester. But it's really designed to be, the program is there to be a support, not an extra additional thing that has to be integrated into the already full busy curriculum that you have on your plate. So however the EIR and the program can best support you and the students is going to be the right answer, I guess. So I know that's not, that's not
okay. No,
hopefully that's helpful.
Flexibility, and we can figure out what works best for us. Okay.
Yeah, there is very much flexibility in what's going to work best for you and the EIR.
Okay, thanks.
Who's next? We are waiting for your queries. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. If you don't have any further queries, I think we will close it here for now. Okay, and you can reach us anytime with any of your queries. We are always accessible. It was wonderful to have you all today, and I can see we are having a great beginning this year. Thanks all for joining. Thanks Ariba and thanks Rebecca for joining.
Thanks, Trisha. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Everybody. Thanks, Liara. Bye then. I'm closing the session. Thanks all. Bye.